speak for the United States, but I can speak for myself and many, many U.S. citizens that see the relationship with the Kurdistan region, with the Kurdistan regional government, and with the citizens of the Kurdistan region as really one of the stabilizing forces in our relationships in the Middle East, with undue pressure and shenanigans from Iran and other partners, other countries in the region. It's very difficult to find a more durable partnership than the partnership that the United States has with the Kurdistan region. Well, I think what I see is that the Kurdistan region, its citizens, the people of Kurdistan, the government agencies, and the NGOs have done everything in their power to host still nearly 1 million people. Many of those are displaced Iraqi citizens, so what we call internally displaced people. So it's in the best interest of everyone involved to maintain the stability, the strength of the Kurdistan region, so that these people can be, taken care of and provided refuge, because there really isn't anywhere for them to go. So if you look at it from just a nationalistic point of view, doing the right thing is the right way, because Kurdistan's strength and its stability is in the best interest of not only Kurdistan and its citizens, but the entire country of Iraq and the region itself. Well, I say again, it shows the strength of the Kurdistan region, of its people. It shows the strength of its belief in people and social issues. And it shows the resilience and strength of the Kurdistan regional government and its many, many employees who are willing to sacrifice and work in spite of the fact that, salaries aren't being paid. They're willing to do what needs to be done in terms of security and protecting not only the citizens that live in the Kurdistan region, but the region, in spite of the fact that these agreements are not being adhered to and complied with. So I think in a way it shows again the strength, the resilience, and the dependability of the Kurdistan regional government, its leadership, and the people of Kurdistan. And I commend them. Well, I think again that I don't know if that's the case, but I pray that it's not. I think that to work towards instability in any way is a zero-sum equation. That the strength of one is the strength of all. So we need to be able to understand that. I think, my personal opinion, and I know many, many people in the United States and around the world agree, that really one of the beacons of light over the last 10, 15 years, or even longer for sure, is the Kurdistan regional government, the Kurdistan region itself, fighting for rights of religious freedom, fighting for minorities of different religious backgrounds and heritage, doing the right thing. I mean, Peshmerga soldiers lost life and limb trying to fight for Christian churches that were besieged and targeted in many of these instances. So I think that working towards stability, working towards a resolution to this crisis is in the best interest of everyone concerned, and I strongly advise that this is looked at very, very seriously. If I understand the question, I believe that the leadership of the Kurdistan region, its government, the KRG, the Kurdistan regional government, its leading NGOs like the Barzani Charity Foundation and others, have sustained an effort there to save lives and alleviate suffering of those who have been forced from their homes and their communities. I know to this day the Kurdistan regional government is being asked to provide safe refuge for more and more people who are being forced from their communities. And they take these, even in spite of the financial strains that have been kind of thrust upon them by this conflict, by this disagreement, or this lack of compliance with agreements. They still are considering bringing, I know that they've just brought in a group of Sudanese refugees, and there's a terrible civil war going there. So again, I couldn't agree with you more. We need to strengthen, not only get what they have coming from this situation with Baghdad, but we need to strengthen and fortify the support, because they're hosting, still to this day, could be up to 30 or more percent of their population. So, you know, it's an incredible, imagine a U.S. state or a country in a small country hosting 30% increase in their population. That's a tremendous shock, a tremendous expense. It puts pressure on everything. And then you have this most current crisis. I think it's something that we need to really get in front of and be part of the debate about. Well, I think, you know, one of the strengths, and I say this with great respect as an American, of the Kurdistan region and Kurdistan itself, is that it has its own national narrative. And I think that right now it's time for these parties, everyone in the leadership in Kurdistan, to be on the same page, to work together in a unified front, because I think that is what is very important right now, to be you know, together 100% at this time. Of course we have disagreements, of course there's this party and that party, and so on and so forth, but I think it's time for to put those party differences aside and be on the same page. I think that's one of the strengths of the Kurdistan region, of its people, is that they understand that they're very unique in the world, that they have a different perspective than many others, and that gives them a place in the world that's very unique. And that's why I have such a huge heart for the people of Kurdistan, the Kurdistan regional government, and the many other stakeholders that are involved in this difficult situation. I think the focus of the U.S. government on, you know, react or a deal with Tehran is clouding the issue. I mean, you know, there has to be some limits in terms of what we'll you know, agree with, and what we won't notice. And I think that's very, you know, important. You know, it's been said that all elements of power are being put to place and put in force in Iraq right now generally, and it's very important that we have a sovereign and independent country, not one that's being kind of puppeted outside by outside forces. So I think, again, that takes you back to the Kurdistan region, where there's a, you know, strong independent streak, where that, you know, they understand their role and their unique role in making sure that Iraq has integrity as an independent and free country. Well, I think all reasonable people want a strong and independent Kurdistan and a strong and stable Kurdistan for all the reasons that we've discussed during this wonderful discussion that we're having. I can't speak specifically for the United States government. I do hope that they engage in this in a more robust, in a more meaningful way, because I think that we need to show some leadership here and some support in this regard. I don't think that it's anything more complicated than that. I think it's time for us to remind all the parties of their responsibilities under these agreements and covenants. And it's time for us to remember that Kurdistan, we are better with Kurdistan than we are without Kurdistan. And I know that, I've seen that, I've been in the camps, I've been there many, many times, and I've seen the impact and the commitment that has been made. So I think it's very important that we remind our governments that this is something that needs to be attended to.